Alright guys, what's going on? Thank you so much for 3,000 subscribers. Could not have done it without every single one of you guys. And you guys giving me this insane amount of support and engagement and likes and comments. This is incredible and I love it so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I thought I'd just do a quick little Q&A, which also allows me to shout out a bunch of people while doing this. So if your name is on the screen right now, thank you so much for all the support you've given me. And if your name isn't on the screen right now, don't worry. I'll probably be doing this every 1,000 subscribers I get. So I'll do another one at 4,000 and I'll give a bunch of shout outs and I'll react to a bunch of comments and a Q&A for a lot of them, which will also get your name up there. So thank you guys so much for your support. And yeah, let's get right into this Q&A. All right, first question is from Jay, and he asks, are you an OG fan of Saints Row? This is a question I actually get a lot, and the answer is no. So what happened with me is in 2011, about a month before Saints Row the Third came out, I started watching from this game, and you know what? I was into GTA 4, right? So I started looking at this game called Saints Row the Third, which had a trailer coming out about it, and I said, "Wow, this is really interesting." So I looked it up, and I went down to GameStop, and I picked up Saints Row 2 on PS3, and I brought that home in preparation for Saints Row the Third. So then I played the crap out of Saints Row 2, and I absolutely loved it. It became my favorite game of all time. And then I played Saints Row the Third, which I also loved, and then that just started my love affair with the Saints Row franchise. And honestly, some of my best memories in all of gaming are with Saints Row, which is why I love making these videos on my channel. So I'm not an OG fan. You know, I wasn't around in 2006 playing the first Saints Row or anything like that. But 2011, I fell in love with Saints Row. All right, the next question from Mr. Me is, what are your top 10 favorite games? All right, so Saints Row 2 is definitely number one, and then after that, they're just kind of all over the place. I'm not putting them in any order, but these are the games. GTA 4, GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption, Red Dead Redemption 2, and I'm a sucker for all the Rockstar games. NHL 14, Spider-Man PS4, Saints Row the Third, and we got a big shocker coming out of nowhere here, Mafia Definitive Edition. God, I enjoyed it, and I love it so much. It's got to be in my top 10. I'm not sure if that was exactly 10. I just kind of listed all the ones that I had on top of my head, but that's a lot of games. So, yeah, that answers the question pretty well. Seb asks, what are your realistic expectations for Saints Row 5? Oh, great question. I mean, I talk about this thing all the frickin' time. So might as well be able to say my realistic expectations. First things first, they have to listen to the fans. They have to. There's no other choice here. I mean, I know a lot of you guys say Saints Row 4 shows that Volition doesn't really care. They won't listen to the fans. But they don't really have any choice, man. They don't have any other choice but to listen to us and what we want. So I do think it's going to be relatively grounded. I don't think there's going to be aliens or superpowers or anything like that. Actually, let me take that back. I think there might be superpowers, but it's going to be in like either a really distant mini game or if you drink Saints Flow or something like that. But I think the main game is going to be boots on the ground, you know, like a gangster sim, kind of reminiscent of Saints Row 1 and 2. I think there's going to be some kind of multiplayer because that's become such a cash cow with these open world games that I don't think Volition is going to skip out on a multiplayer. And then for the story, I honestly have no clue. They could go so many different directions, whether it's reboot, prequel, continuation, retcon. Like, there's so many different things, so I have absolutely no idea. But yeah, those are my realistic expectations as of right now, is that I do think they got to listen to the fans. It's going to be boots on the ground, and there's going to be some kind of multiplayer. BVF Snipes asks, what is your favorite songs in each Saints Row game? So I won't go for each Saints Row game, but I'll just name you my favorite songs in the Saints Row franchise. I love I Need a Hero in Saints Row the Third. I was jamming to that all the time. Basically the entire Saints Row 2 soundtrack, whether it's like So Sick from Neo, I love that, or the rap songs. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't really name too many of them. Or I love the music from the 80s, like Karma Chameleon and Down Under in Saints Row 2. Saints Row 2 has like my favorite soundtrack of all time. But this is actually a really interesting one that I want to hear from you guys, your guys' favorite songs in the Saints Row games, because it's a really fun thing and we can discuss about it. So yeah, what are your guys' favorite songs from the Saints Row games? But yeah, those are the ones that I can just name off the top of my head here. Lav Saint asks, in Saints Row 5, what do you think about a romance system, or even just romantic story development between the boss and Gat or Shandi, etc.? I mean, for me, I don't really focus too much on this type of stuff when I'm playing games. I don't really focus on like romantic interests and stuff like that, but I do think that they're gonna have maybe something, right? Because I mean, I guess there's been some like sexual tension, I guess you could say, between some of the characters in the past Saints Row games, and it is rated M, man, so I mean they could do whatever they want, but I think there's going to be some kind of maybe romantic angle in the next Saints Row game. I'm not sure to what extent or like what, but I think it's very possible. Callum Jackson asks, would you rather have old Stillwater with a ton of Easter eggs and secrets to discover like in RDR2, or a open world 3 times that of Saints Row with a bunch of little details added but very little Easter eggs? Oh, that's a great question, man. Oh, that's a tough one, man. I mean, what I'm realizing lately with open world games is like size doesn't matter as much as I used to think it did. Like, I mean, I would hear stuff like, oh my god, this game's map is going to be the biggest open world map in the history of open worlds, and then it's just like totally stale and boring, and all you're doing is just driving around for like 3 hours, right? I don't want that. I'd rather have a smaller map condensed with a bunch of awesome things to do and see, like Saints Row 2 Stillwater. It's the best to ever do it, in my opinion, rather than like a huge map that's so boring and bland that you just kind of drive around forever, right? But at the same time, I don't think Volition can get away with having a city as small as Stillwater was in Saints Row 2. It's got to be bigger, at least by a good margin. So the answer to this question for me is somewhere in the middle. I mean, because they don't want to have what Stillwater was in Saints Row 2. Like, if you kind of strip everything down, like, I know it seems so big because there was so much stuff to do, but it really wasn't. Like, there wasn't that much stuff it wasn't that big of a map. It was actually pretty small. So I do think it's going to be a bit bigger than that, but I also don't want it to be huge to the point where they kind of get lazy and they don't make it alive and vibrant. It still needs to have a ton of things to see and do. So I would say somewhere in the middle. Strike a balance for it. But great question. All you guys, great question. Thank you to everybody who submitted a question for this Q&A. And if you didn't get a shout out or your question answered, I will be doing a part 2 of sorts when I get to 4,000, and I want to do one of these every 1,000 subscribers, or maybe every few thousand, we'll see, but I'm definitely going to do one for 4K and 5K, and then we'll go from there. But I want to make sure these are like pretty big shout out videos too. So yeah, thank you guys so much for your support. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep sharing these videos, and this is amazing. I love you guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys next time.